A lone rider, a ghost in the scorching desert, chases whispers of a lost soul, a past debt. Jericho the Drifter Hayes, a man hardened by the unforgiving western lands, rode beneath the relentless midday sun across the desolate plains of the Great Divide sometime in the late 1800s. Jericho, once an orphan saved by a brave Comanche girl, heard hushed rumors of her capture by ruthless scalp hunters. Driven by a long-buried debt and a burning sense of justice, he abandoned his secluded life to find her. The wind seemed to carry the distant cries of despair, or was it merely the desert playing tricks on a man driven by old ghosts? Some whispered that those who returned to the wilderness after escaping it were forever marked, forever tied to its harsh justice. As twilight painted the sky in shades of blood and ash, Jericho stumbled upon the ruins of Dry Gulch, a frontier outpost reduced to charred timbers and silent despair. What horrors had unfolded here? And was this a sign he was too late? The silence of the outpost was profound, a chilling testament to the brutal efficiency of those he pursued. Locals would later speak of Dry Gulch as a cursed place, forever echoing the screams of the innocent. Whispers from the grave. Amidst the ashes of a shattered dream, a dying man clings to a final, desperate plea, revealing a name that rekindles a forgotten fire. In the smoldering remains of Dry Gulch, just as the last rays of sun faded, Jericho found an old prospector, Elias Vance, barely clinging to life beneath a collapsed wagon. Elias, with his last breaths, described the savage attack by 5 hardened outlaws and the valiant fight of a Comanche girl, who, in her fierce defiance, saved his granddaughter. He rasped her name, Anya. The name struck Jericho like a physical blow, igniting a forgotten resolve. How had the old man survived amidst such carnage? Some claimed that a protective spirit watched over the innocent in such dark times, while others suggested that pure hatred for his attackers kept Elias alive just long enough to deliver his message. With the old man's dying words guiding him north through Rattlesnake Pass towards Whisperwind Mine, Jericho mounted his stallion, his face a mask of grim determination. Anya was alive, but for how long? And what fate awaited her at the hands of such ruthless men? The silent burial of Elias beneath the harsh Texas soil served as a silent promise from Jericho to avenge the fallen and save the innocent. The hunter becomes the hunted. The trail of desperation, marked by discarded fragments of a struggle, leads a relentless tracker into a deadly trap, where his past methods are his only salvation. Dawn broke over the rugged terrain as Jericho the Drifter Hayes followed the fresh tracks through the narrow canyons leading to Rattlesnake Pass, sometime after leaving Dry Gulch. Jericho found a torn piece of fabric stained with blood, a grim confirmation of Anya's struggle. His people had sheltered him when he was an outcast, and Anya had given him purpose. This debt would be paid in blood. Ambushed by 2 of the outlaws in a tight canyon, Jericho, relying on his swift reflexes, dispatched one and captured the other. Was it luck or something more primal that guided Jericho's hand in the ambush? Some spoke of a sixth sense, a hunter's instinct honed by years of solitude and survival against impossible odds. The captured outlaw, after a brutal interrogation, revealed Anya was being held at Whisperwind Mine, waiting for a buyer from El Paso. Jericho, leaving a chilling warning for the rest of the gang, rode towards the mine, a storm of vengeance gathering within him. What kind of man would buy a human soul? And what retribution would this buyer face? The ghost of Whisperwind Mine. Amidst the crumbling remnants of forgotten dreams, a silent savior moves through the shadows, ready to reclaim a life destined for freedom. Under the shroud of a bruised purple sky, Jericho arrived at the desolate outskirts of Whisperwind Mine, a once bustling silver hub, now a den of depravity, on the eve of his decisive confrontation. Jericho bypassed the main saloon, where the remaining outlaws, led by Rattler Slade and the mysterious buyer from El Paso, were carousing. He located a dilapidated storage shed, where he found Anya, bound and bruised, but alive. He quickly cut her free, ensuring her safety first. How had Anya survived such an ordeal? Perhaps her fierce spirit, a characteristic of her Comanche heritage, shielded her, or maybe the outlaws, confident in their impending sale, underestimated her resilience. Guiding Anya to a hidden trail, Jericho instructed her to escape to his horse and await him by a distant creek. With Anya safe, Jericho turned back to the main saloon, his resolve as unyielding as the desert stone. The buyer's chilling words echoed in his mind. She's strong, young, the kind men pay well for. What fury would Jericho unleash on those who trafficked in human lives? And would he ever truly be free of the darkness he embraced for justice? Fire and blood at the saloon. A single man ignites a blaze of retribution in a den of iniquity, turning a night of ill-gotten gains into a symphony of screams and steel. Jericho the Drifter Hayes, consumed by righteous fury, burst into the main saloon at Whisperwind Mine, confronting Rattler Slade, the El Paso buyer, and their remaining cohorts during their celebration. Chaos erupted as Jericho, a whirlwind of gunfire and raw power, systematically eliminated the outlaws. He shattered the lantern, plunging the room into darkness, amplifying the fear and confusion. He then confronted Rattler Slade, the leader of the raiding party, and the buyer. Was Jericho's combat prowess merely skill, or was there an almost supernatural edge to his movements in the chaotic darkness, as if the shadows themselves fought on his side? With Rattler Slade slain and the buyer begging for mercy, Jericho delivered a final, chilling statement. You paid for flesh, that's enough. The last shot echoed into the night, followed by the rapid spread of fire through the decrepit saloon. As the camp burned like a beacon of judgment, Jericho rode away, his mission accomplished, but his soul still bearing the scars of the darkness he'd unleashed. What would be the true cost of this brutal justice? A new horizon, a lingering shadow. From the ashes of battle, two survivors ride towards an uncertain future, their bond forged in fire, their path shadowed by an unspoken question. As dawn painted the sky, Jericho and Anya, reunited, rode west from the burning Whisperwind Mine, leaving behind the destruction. They found temporary solace under a lone cottonwood tree. Sometime the next day, Anya questioned why Jericho came for her. He confessed his past debt, acknowledging she had saved him once when the world seemed different. Their conversation cemented a quiet, unspoken bond. Jericho then revealed they couldn't stay hidden for long, as the Baron's network was vast and vengeful. Was their bond simply gratitude and duty, or was something deeper, a silent understanding, beginning to grow between them in the harsh silence of the desert? Jericho led them to the secluded Solitude homestead, a ranch owned by Silas the Grizzly Blackwood, an old war comrade of Jericho's father. Silas offered them refuge without questions, understanding the silent burdens they carried. What peace, if any, could they find at the Solitude homestead? And how long would it be before the shadow of the Baron reached even this remote sanctuary? The unyielding stand. The quiet peace of refuge is shattered by the encroaching shadow of retribution, forcing a desperate stand against overwhelming odds. Days turned into nights at Solitude Homestead, a period of fragile peace and watchful waiting, when Mason Butcher Barnes, the Baron's ruthless enforcer, arrived with his men. Jericho, knowing a confrontation was inevitable, prepared for battle. Anya, now fiercely determined, declared they would fight rather than flee again. Silas, despite being wounded early in the assault, joined them in fortifying the homestead. The first shots rang out at sundown, initiating a brutal siege. Why did some men, like Butcher Barnes, pursue vengeance with such chilling dedication? Was it loyalty, greed, or a deeper, darker void within their souls that drove them? The battle for Solitude Homestead was a desperate struggle. Anya, proving her warrior spirit, fought alongside Jericho while Silas held his ground. Mason Butcher Barnes, a man known for his brutality, personally led the assault. What would be the fate of Solitude Homestead? And could three battered souls withstand the full might of the Baron's relentless pursuit? The price of freedom. Amidst the chaos and smoke, a final brutal confrontation determines the fate of a homestead and the freedom of its inhabitants. In the heart of the raging battle at Solitude Homestead, Jericho faced Mason Butcher Barnes in a brutal hand-to-hand struggle. As bullets tore through wood and shouts filled the air, Jericho fought relentlessly. He plunged his own blade into Butcher Barnes, ending his reign of terror. With Barnes dead, the remaining attackers faltered and retreated. The homestead was saved, but scarred. Was the survival of Jericho, Anya, and Silas a testament to their skill and will? Or was there an unseen force, perhaps the spirit of the land itself, protecting those who chose to stand their ground? The morning after the battle brought a strange, quiet calm. They buried the fallen attackers, acknowledging the grim reality of their new life. Silas, though wounded, was alive. Jericho and Anya resolved to rebuild Solitude Homestead, transforming it into a bastion against those who sought to enslave or destroy. They declared their land free, a challenge to all who would dare threaten it. The Baron's gang was shattered, but whispers of a new leader and renewed vengeance arrived. What sacrifices would they have to make to defend their newfound freedom? And could love, born from the ashes of conflict, truly flourish in such a dangerous world?